we are going to be spending today to get that. Hey, thank God. Thank God. And if you're skeptical about going out, I think the road is as safe as you can be, except you think it's not important for you to go out. If there's nothing too important for you to do, please stay back. Okay? There is very scanty movement, as in you cannot see the vehicle like you expect it to be. So everything is quiet, calm, cool, and collected, like they will say. Okay, my name is Olori Adejoke Adubi. David, my friends call me Olori AJ. How was your night? Hope you had a restful night. Okay, it's a brand new day, and to God be the glory, like I said. I hope you're doing well. I have with me my darling sister and a colleague and a friend. Okay, she's right here. She's looking all glam in a fitted outfit, because many people, I saw them today on the road, and everybody is trying to be either in a combat, a fitted, outfit, or looking trimmed, sporty. So in case you see them, they don't fly. That was what she said. So I'm sure you'll be able to get what I'm trying to say.
Okay, good morning.
How was your journey back here?
Fine. The roads are very free. That's one thing I've observed. The roads are really, really free. You're not looking bad. You also came in your fitted this thing now.
Now, so now, I know they carry last when it comes to that. I just need to be fitted, especially on a Thursday. It's a healthy Thursday, so we need to be on that route.
Okay, a very good morning to our guests. Welcome to the first day in the month of August. I know a little will say, finally July has passed, so no more birthday. Well, like I said, 2 weeks into August is still my birthday.
Can you imagine?
Welcome to Family and Values. My name still remains Princess Joy Albunan. I'm getting used to adding princess to the name. Of course, I'm a princess. How are you doing?
Yep.
Okay, I quickly want to say this. For everyone who is feeling down that you've entered August and things are not still working the way you planned it to be, please calm down. Everything will be fine. The little in your hand, the Lord can multiply it. It can become something. I know the holy books, even the Quran talks about that too. So, but one thing I want you to do in this month of August is learn to give. Yes. Sometimes that little thing in your hand that you feel is just for me is a test to know when greater things enter your hand. And if you're the type that have a giving spirit, you know that somehow you will never lack. You just see things working out for you. So and when I say give, I'm not saying give for public viewing, give for people, give to people that I need. Give because you're moved to actually help somebody. That person you're looking at thinking the person has it. Trust me, if you go deep, that your little 1,000, 2,000 can go a very long way. So please learn to give. That's what I want to tell you as we start this month of August. Okay, yes. We are streaming across all our social media platforms. Please download the Galaxy mobile app so that you can watch us on the go. Like I used to say, it's still my birthday. 2 weeks into my birthday.
Oh my God.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you take that page higher. There are lots of topics you don't want to miss. I want you to go back, sit down, have a conversation with family, talk to one person. Somebody jokingly said yesterday that yes, if nobody from your family calls you, then something is wrong, especially in this period. Well, I want to give a big shout out to my dad, because my dad, yesterday evening, he just put that call across. This morning I say, I'm not able to calm down.
Be calming down.
Be calming down, So to everyone out there, please stay safe. This is family. Your family love you. Your family need you. Please, please, please stay safe. And I also want to bring this to your notice. If you receive a call from a family, supposedly a family person asking for financial demands, especially those of us that belong to different WhatsApp group, please, before you give your money, confirm. There's a lot of scam going on out there.
A lot.
So we use voice. This whole technology thing. Before you know it, you see, you'll be scammed.
Don't go and join what
Don't
you
go
know
and
you
join
cannot
what-
manage or
that's it.
sustain or
Please.
retain or
You
understand.
belong to group A, please be careful. As I am, that nobody will even, before you even tell me you need help, I know those. I know one of my friends, she'll say, I want to call video call, let me see your face. Let me, she will ask you some questions. It has gotten to that level so that you don't get scammed, please. Let's just be watchful out there. Welcome to Family.
Okay, if you give Joy the opportunity, she will talk from morning till night. She's like a parrot, and she will continue. She just go like that. But really, when it comes to being scammed, God have mercy. God have mercy. Because I wonder how someone will sit down. Someone has taken time to work and labor for certain amount of money kept somewhere, and you, in your own myopic way of thinking, not thinking to make your own money, genuine money, legit money, you want to sit down somewhere and want to take opportunity, advantage of someone because they don't know much about the digital way of. How do you get yourself out of it?
The truth is, the Bible says the heart of man is desperately wicked.
Wicked.
When you look at the desperation for financial,
it's really sad.
It's
sad.
Really sad.
It's sad.
And this period that the scenes were bad and a lot of scam. When
Hey.
I know of somebody that just after they reactivated her SIM, lots of money was moved out of her account.
Can you imagine?
So I knew that was actually going to happen, of course, because it was over the weekend. So you don't know what on Monday, and so but it's really bad. It's really bad. Scamming someone
it's sad.
Is not the best way.
And many, as a result of this, has lost their lives.
Yes, they have.
Because the shock. Some going to cardiac arrest.
They
have if somebody was sharing with us that the friend from 200, maybe from 20 million, left 400.
From 80 million, they left 800.
800.
And the person said, you're not even happy that I left 800.
800. You can imagine. God will help us. God will help us.
Really
Today is Healthy Thursday, and we want to talk about a very, very important particular disease out around us. It's called stomach flu. We'll be right back. Let's go for our mini feature. What do you know about gastroenteritis? Okay, what do you know about it? Have you ever heard it before? Do you know anything like stomach flu? Maybe unless you Google it. But let's go for our mini feature, and you have a clue of what we are about to discuss. Don't make me come out my teeth. Okay. It's also popularly known as stomach flu. Stomach flu. What is stomach flu? Have you ever heard about that? Anything like stomach flu before? Okay, some will tell you, I had food though. I didn't even know it was the food I ate, and they said it was poisoned or something. Okay, now when you hear that, Joy, some will tell you maybe your enemy in the office poisoned your food, or maybe that fruit you bought, you understand, they have injected it, or decide to inject the juice, pack of juice from, like that.
Yeah.
But it's many don't really know that it is not just poisoning the food by substance. It's food poisoning by the way it's been prepared, or the area at which such food was placed or prepared, or even when it's been prepared, contamination or certain mixture of one thing or the other, like that. So it goes a long way for understanding and explanation. But doctor is going to do a lot of justice to this for us. And I don't know, I'm sure you must have heard it.
I've heard about it a whole lot, but I'm glad that we are having the conversation today, because at least the doctor in the house will help us digest the topic very well and give our view as rather knowledge, rather than us just, a lot of people, so many things about health is all about assumption. And I'm happy that on our Healthy Thursdays we've been able to talk about those topics that people just assume and feel it's nothing. But by the time the doctors go into details and start talking about it, you realize that, oh, so I didn't know this thing. So this is one topic also. Most people don't even know that there's something called stomach fluid. Yes, we all know about stomach ulcer, and so talking about this again is another enlightenment.
Okay, so we'll be going for the short break. We'll be right back, so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. And we want to talk about gastroenteritis, stomach flu. The doctor is here. He will not let me remove my teeth, because it's very important. I still have teeth. I want to eat grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren's food. So it's so good to have you, Doctor. Welcome. Happy New Month.
Happy New Month to you. That's true. Happy New Month. Why are you not quiet?
He loves to eat blush.
Why are you now blushing? I don't understand.
Now, so the pharmacy, he bought to the blush that day.
Wait, why? Let me shake you small. Why are you now blushing?
I have to blush now.
Why? What happened?
People are praising me.
Yeah, to God be the glory. So, like I said, you are not a celebrity doctor.
Yes, so we are working towards that.
Don't worry, it's coming. We celebrate doctors like you who are still very much here with us.
Yes, sir.
That doesn't mean you cannot jackpot, but you took it upon yourself to still be here.
Yes, Nigeria first. We have to make Nigeria.
I love that, Nigeria first. That just cuts my attention.
We are so grateful to have you. Okay, so we want to talk about gastroenteritis. Did I mention it or pronounce it?
You're right.
Gastroenteritis.
Gastroenteritis.
If you know how many years I do, say make my teeth no come out. You understand? So, doctor, help us out. Gastroenteritis can well be defined as what, and what are the causes of gastroenteritis?
Okay. Gastroenteritis is gotten from the word gastro, which means stomach, entero, which is intestine. So gastroenteritis simply refers to inflammation of the stomach and the intestine. So the inflammation of the stomach, which presents as vomiting, inflammation of the intestine, which presents as diarrhea. So vomiting, which is expulsion of stomach contents, and diarrhea simply means passage of loose stool more than 3 episodes in 24 hours. So gastroenteritis can be infectious or might be non-infectious. So infectious means it's caused by an organism. There's an infection causing the inflammation.
Okay.
Other times it might not be an infection causing it. So things like somebody is lactose intolerant, somebody having cancer and the rest. It can also present as diarrhea. So when we screen people with colon cancer and the rest, so what we look for, if the person is having diarrhea and the person is telling you, I see blood in my stool in an elderly patient, you are thinking, okay, some other people will just say, okay, this is gastroenteritis and stop there, treat for infection and all, but it is important to screen for cancer in an elderly patient that is presenting with something like that. And, then some can present as vomiting, and complain of abdominal pain, and it might be you are dealing with an ulcer. Okay, so gastroenteritis just means inflammation of the stomach and the intestine that presents as vomiting and diarrhea. Sometimes it can just be vomiting alone, sometimes it can just be the diarrhea alone.
Okay. now I'm beginning to understand broadly. But what can we identify as the causes of the stomach flu or this gastroenteritis? If I cross my tongue. Come on with stomach flu. Now, what are those things we can identify that cause this whole stomach flu?
Well, the bacteria constituent of the stomach, intestine, is a result of you take it to your body. So when you take it in, normally your body is supposed to absorb what you want to absorb, then the remaining you pass it out. And before you pass it out, that is why your fluid is usually, your feces, which is the poo, is usually solid, because the function of the large intestine is to absorb the water in it so that it comes out as solid form. You know, but sometimes when people have an infection, maybe caused by bacteria, virus, you know, protozoan, parasite, and the rest. So what happens is they cause inflammation along the lining of the intestine. So with the inflammation along the lining of the intestine, you know, it prevents that absorption of water. So instead of you to absorb the water, because it's more or less like when you cook and you put Maggi and all those things. Sorry, I like making distinction with food.
Like it.
Yes,
It's obvious.
Everybody can.
It's obvious. No worry, we are not taking offense.
Yes. So when you put Maggi, salt, and the rest, you know, if when you have water in it, you stir, it is easier for everything to mix. So also when you eat and all of that, you take water, you know, the water in it will help you to absorb the nutrients. You know, when you dissolve it in water, then it is easier to absorb the nutrients. But now, someone that's having gastroenteritis, instead of absorbing the nutrients of the irritation along the lining of the intestine or the stomach, they can't really absorb the nutrients. So the person is losing so much nutrients. So it can be because of an infection, maybe bacteria, virus, parasite, that is causing the irritation around that side. Sometimes it might not even be the organism that is causing the problem. It can be that an organism released a toxin inside the food. That toxin is now acting on the wall of the intestine, you know, causing that irritation where the person is not able to absorb the nutrients. Sometimes that toxin can bind to the wall and form as a pump, just the way you have pumping machine now. It absorbs sodium from inside the body. As it's dragging the sodium, it is dragging the water you already have inside your body out of it, and the person is passing out wateries too. So you are losing a lot of fluid. So it can be an infection from an organism. It can be toxin that an organism produces. So when you have toxin, the toxin is there, and now it can stay for a longer time. So somebody says, oh, it's just that the food has been there for a long period of time due to poor storage and all of that. The toxin is there. Whenever you eat it, it can also cause gastroenteritis. Another thing is if the person has something like a malignancy, cancer. So the cancer is growing on the wall of the intestine, causing irritation. So the person is now, so it could be that the person cannot absorb, the person is lactose intolerance. You know, it can be that the person has maybe HIV or something. So because of the HIV, the person has reduced immunity. So an organism normally that should not even give you problem that your immune system will tackle, then that organism now start causing irritation along the stomach lining and things like that. So
God help us. Okay, the doctor is still very much here. We need to go for a word on marble and a short break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Planet. That's why they said he knows the ending even before you start that journey. Okay, what the Bible says, a sick society must think much about politics, as a sick man must think much about his digestion. Tell me, is it relevant? Do you see anything, any comparison with today, the protests and the discussion we are having? Life is very sweet, you know. Just give yourself a smile at least. When you start with a smile, something else will follow. Goodies. You just have something running through your stomach, and like somebody will just call, Johnson, Kilon Shelley, Alpha. There's nothing, my paddy, waiting big ground. Okay, you know what? Send me your details. I'll send you something.
Just like I'll
just
send details to doctor to send me something.
You know, it goes a long way, but please don't keep quiet. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't at this point in time, don't keep quiet. See, Joy. I tend to find out that sometimes, yeah, you need to be very discreet when it comes to seeking help. And so, in the process of seeking that help, some have become like this. I can't ask that Joy. How can I ask Joy? Ask Joy. How can I ask that? See, it's because you never see the other side of life. If you see the other side of life, my brother, my sister, you go open mouth.
Talk.
In short, I love Lagosians.
You will talk.
I love Lagosians. They will tell you, Ogbeni, kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́, throw something here now. Your sister needs something. And before you know it, something will drop. Please don't be quiet. Irrespective of how high your caliber, how big, even if you have a car, that person you want to seek from will tell you, but you get motor, and they go get motor. See, because you get motor, no means say you high past that person. Seek and you find. We seek something this morning. Shall we not find it? Anyway, doctor, now, how can we treat this gastroenteritis? How can we treat it? You know, something was coming to my mind, and that's now you decide to go to the market, or you're coming back from work, you decide to get some fruits, and you go to him and he said the fruit you bought was poisoned. Some would think that maybe the friend or the malam or that woman I bought it from, she must have injected it with something. That was what I was trying to discuss before you got here. And I'm looking at it that, okay, poison, there are different types of poisoning. Can you explain, as you talk about the treatment when it comes to the stomach flu? Because many will think that maybe you put substance. But when we say poison, just like you said, it may be that the organism, there's an organism that has actually perched on that fruit and secreted. Maybe it was not well washed or prepared and all that. So can you please shed more light on this as you talk about the treatment too?
Okay, so based on the treatment, it depends on what type of gastroenteritis you are dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, for instance, a 70-year-old woman comes to me and she's having mainly enteritis, there's blood in his stool, and in as much as I'm thinking of an infection, in that kind of patient, I want to rule out a cancer. So there is no one treatment that suits all, because different things can cause gastroenteritis. So for an elderly patient, bloody stool, and with diarrhea, I'm thinking, okay, it could be infection, it could also be a cancer. So for that kind of patient, whatever it is to do, that patient needs to do a colonoscopy. They pass like a camera to the anus, you look at the colon, the intestine, to see if there's any malignancy there. Yes, it's very important. But let's say if I have a young person and the person is having vomiting, diarrhea, and the person says, I ate, maybe I ate outside, and after eating, vomiting and diarrhea, and the vomiting and diarrhea, like let's say in 1 hour, the person said, I've had like 4 episodes, or let's say in the last 4 hours, I've gone to the toilet like 10 times, and the person does not have a fever. If the person does not have a fever, like in the hospital, we'll do like maybe full blood count, do stool tests to check infection. If we don't see those things that we want in infection, but let's say you are in a place where you cannot even assess or evaluate something for infection now, and the person is having multiple episodes within a short period of time, that is likely to be food poisoning. So if you do the test, you won't really find anything. If you do a full blood count, it might not be elevated, usually normal, because it is not even the organism now, a bacteria or whatever that is causing it. It is the poison, the toxin that is released by the organism that is causing the problem now. So that is why it is usually sporadic, and the person might not have a fever. But in that kind of situation, we don't really give drug. You just set a line. You want to give IV fluid. Usually the type of IV fluid you want to give is the one that contains most of the constituents that the person is losing, because if the person is having diarrhea, the person is losing a lot of bicarbonate, the person is losing a lot of potassium, some sodium, and some other minerals like that. So you want to give a fluid that will commensurate, and in that type of diarrhea, you don't try to stop it. You don't want to stop because the person is trying to expel the poison. So you don't really. So
it's like some will want to take this flagyl to. It's dangerous.
Yes. Well, taking flagyl
that's what you mean.
Will have no effect.
Okay.
Flagyl is an antibiotic, but I will just said it's not caused by bacteria now.
Oh.
So what is the essence of the flagyl? That's
no, a naive person who is used to self-medication will want to try that.
Yes.
Or tetracycline.
Yes.
How dangerous is that, as you explained this to?
Well, different antibiotics have their own side effects.
Oh.
Yes, because you taking an antibiotics like your tetracycline, as you mentioned now, it can also kill the normal flora. There are some normal organisms you have in the intestine that are there to protect the intestine for other organisms not to affect
it.
So you taking the antibiotics when you don't even need it in the first place, you will now kill the normal organisms that are supposed to be there. And you now cause another difficult
that's why I want
problem.
you to. That's why I want you to.
So that, but for food poisoning, usually it will resolve on its own. But while it's resolved, what you have to do is to give the person supportive treatment, so that the body will be able to. So you give a lot of fluid and all of that commensurate with what the person is using.
Like ORS.
ORS. Remember, we said the person is vomiting too. So if you are giving the person ORS, the person is still vomiting it. So it's as if you are not really
doing anything.
So we want to give, IV fluid as the person is passing it out. They are trying to rehydrate and all of that. If any other thing comes up along the line, you manage appropriately. Then in other instances, let's say if it is caused by lactose intolerance, you want to tell the person avoid, but usually that is more of chronic. It will be like something the person tells you, every time I take milk, I notice I have diarrhea and things like that, bloated abdomen. You tell the person, okay, avoid taking the milk, and you notice, the person is getting better. Whatever it is they take, and they just have allergy to that particular thing, and that's what is causing it. You want to avoid it. But if it is caused by bacteria, usually the person will have fever along with it and things like that. Okay. So for that, you want to give antibiotics while you are replenishing the fluid.
Wow.
And all of that. So.
Okay, now you've explained a whole lot, and in my head, I'm already like, okay. Let's talk about children. Can children, I would not say can children because it's obvious children can suffer from this. To what extent can kids suffer this stomach fluid? And knowing that, kids are so picky. That is number one. A child does not know, because I'm thinking from a mother's point of view. The moment you see that your child is stooling and it's vomiting, the first thing you're reaching out for is the flagyl, and you want to stop the stool immediately because you don't know to what extent. Even sometimes when I get back, I'm like, Mommy, I was like, hey, how many times? My head is already thinking, should I go for flagyl? But now you're making us understand that it's more than just administering flagyl. There is danger to everything. So now, how dangerous can the stomach fluid be to kids? And I'm talking across all age now, because it's very, I don't know, they don't know how to explain themselves. Stomach is biting you. You'll be asking, what did you eat? They cannot tell you exactly. Maybe they bought one sweet or
added biscuits and took some fruits and put everything.
Maybe they cooked their food, and if I'm around them, I'm always very conscious, especially this picking. Something has fallen on the ground, they'll pick it and eat. So how badly can it really affect it, and how dangerous it is?
Well, so for different age group, gastroenteritis differs, but it is even more important in children because for children, more than 70% of their body mass is made up of water.
Okay.
Unlike an adult where the typical body mass of an adult is 60% water. For female usually have less water because they have more fat, compared to the males. For children, more than 70% made up of water. And their body cannot tolerate dehydration as well as an adult. So for children, it is very, very important. That's one. Two, for children, especially the early stages of life, between the first 2 years of life, the commonest cause of gastroenteritis for them is virus, which is rotavirus. And the good thing is there's rotavirus vaccine. I'm not sure, I don't think so, that it is among the compulsory vaccine that is given to children. But as a responsible parent, you can go to the hospital and yes,
it is funny. Responsible parent.
Yes, because
can you yes now?
In clinics we see different kind of thing where you are telling the father or the mother that about rotavirus vaccine and how to prevent that. Because now children early stages, they take them to kindergarten, preschool, and whatever. After 3 months, maternity leave is over, and you want them over to somebody, and the child is falling sick. Nobody will love the child the way you will love your child. So why not take the vaccine and prevent the gastroenteritis? So since it's not compulsory it is not among the compulsory or free vaccine, but as a responsible parent, you can decide now that you have this information and say, oh, I want my child to have rotavirus vaccine, which is the commonest cause of gastroenteritis. So that is one for children. Two, because we know they don't tolerate dehydration very well, we try to counsel parents. Some will say, and the diarrhea just started in the night to around 8 p.m. I say, okay, since it is late in the morning, I will come. Before a child will have about 6-7 episodes, it's dead body you will meet in the morning. Children don't tolerate it very well.
At all.
And that is why we will always counsel them about ORS solution. So, as a responsible parent too, you should know how to prepare your ORS solution. If you go to clinic regularly, which is something that is not so, I don't know how robust it is now, which I think is a fundamental part of the counseling of parents, You will be taught to administer ORS. If you take one ORS, you put it in 1 liter of water. 1 liter of water means 2 pure water. Or if you have bottled water, the one that is 750 ml, you can do 1.5 of that. That will give you a rough estimate of 1 liter of water. You put with 1 ORS, you mix it. If you cannot come to hospital and your child is having diarrhea, you can be giving your child. Usually they say give as much as the child can take. If the child is still breastfeeding, as the child is having diarrhea, you keep giving breast milk because you want to replenish the nutrients. If not, that child will have dehydration before the next morning that you want to. We advise, if you can, come to the hospital. Most hospitals work 24 hours. That is why we are there for you. You see, even protest now, I cannot join protesting as much as I want to, but I have to take care of my patients. Hospital work 24 hours. The doctors are there for you. But if you decide you don't want to come to the hospital, I'm not encouraging you to, but if you still don't want to come, you can do the ORS solution, your ORS, and you put it. Now, if maybe for one reason or the other, you were a family function in the village, in one rural setting, whatever, there is no ORS in that place, and you don't have ORS with you. Now, we have also made another provision, which we usually teach. We call it the salt sugar solution. So, for the short sugar solution, you take a table teaspoon of salt, one of it, with 10 of it sugar. You mix together with 700 mils of water. Now, not 1 liter. Now, if you are doing salt sugar solution, the salt one, we don't want it to be too salty. Salt one and sugar 10. You mix it. You know, when you mix it with the water, then you can be giving the child gradually before you take the child to the. That will help to rehydrate the child for children. Then also, children when they get a particular age, they start sucking the hand, they are crawling, and you know that is. Then for mothers, we do not really encourage mothers to use how do they call this thing now that you use to feed children, feeding bottle.
Okay.
Yes, because organisms can hide inside of those bottle. We encourage you to feed
well
with
washed.
cup and spoon, usually a melted cup, you know, and all of that. That you can wash very well. After some time, you can even put in hot water for some time
to sterilize it.
And all of that. Wash it very well. You can wash every part of the cup, every part. But the feeding bottle, the tiny mouth. So we have noticed that people that they feed with feeding bottle, they tend to come down with infection more than you know. So, but I believe this will help.
It has gone a
Doctor, you have really dealt, you know, with the topic, and we're so glad you could make it, and thank God we are still here today. We're starting the month on a beautiful healthy Thursday, and I'm sure you have had a wonderful time with Dr. Isibo. Thank you so much, Doctor.
He
said even though I'm supposed to be part of the protest, but I have to be here to make sure everyone, you know, is being taken care of. As a medical practice, that is the allegiance they have sworn to, you know, to save lives and make sure everyone, you know. Is a blusher. Unfortunately, it's not fair. If not, you would have seen it. So we're so glad and we are grateful. We're not taking it for granted in any way. We're not. And we pray God will continue to help you. He will always work. Like you have to say, it means that finished, you know, finished job. When we talks about your patient, the one that will not give you too much hassles, the one that is already settled and complete, that's what God will always bring your way.
All right, thank you very much for being a part of Healthy Thursday. You've learned something. For those of us that used to go to, how do I call it, antenatal and postnatal.
Yes, so they teach you that.
Those things are very common. We were taught those things. I still remember 7 years ago. I still remember everything.
Yes, so I was. Yeah, it's just coming back.
Please, we are just trying to remind you. Please be careful this period, especially with our toddlers and kids. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Yes, as we are almost rounding up the week. Please stay safe out there.
So stay safe. And as much as some of us want to join the protest too. Some of us will be going to join the protest. Hey, Nigeria, we healthy. Our own dear native land. To God be the glory. Today's episode has been a wonderful one, and I'm sure you've learned one or two things. Many of us are at home already trying to stay safe. Tomorrow is going to be another wonderful time, and we're looking at violence in relationships. Violence in relationships. I'm sure you don't want to miss it because it's going to be power-packed, loaded. We'll be sharing, discussing experiences of what it means to have violence in a relationship that's not yet unionized, as in solemnized, as in coming together, but they are still boyfriend and girlfriends, or you know, still dating. We'll be talking more about that. So I hope to see you tomorrow by the grace of the Almighty God. Thank you to everyone who have made today a success, and to all our viewers who are watching, please like, follow us, and share. Send to your friends. Let them know what is stomach flu at this point in time, so that you don't want to buy food or items outside that is not well washed, prepared, and you get yourself into trouble. So my name is David.